This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, that's great. So see here, we have seen how to work with the data entities, but there are, as I told you, few concepts left. We will see those concepts and then we will discuss this module today. Okay, we will see how to work with the code migration, compare tool, task recorder, test parser, and everything. Okay, so let me begin the session. See here, when we are working with the data entities, okay, when we are working with the data entities, sometimes you will have the requirement of auto generating the number here. Okay, electronic report will be done by functional or technical. Here there are two things, Kamal, because this electronic requirement basically should be done by technical. Okay, what things should be done by technical? Let's say the customer requirement is that he would like to add few more fields. Okay, from other table you need to add few more fields. At that time, what you need to do? Can functional guy do that? No, you need to go to the DP, and in the DP you need to add. Okay, in the data provider class we need to add few more fields. This is one thing. And the second thing, the customer requirement is same, but that fields are already existing in the data source. Then functional can do that. Okay, this is how we will decide. This is how we will decide. If there is a customization requirement in the code, technical will do that. If there is no need of customization, functional can do that. Got it?
Got it.
Yeah. Now let me go to system administration and then data management. And you can see here, for example, let me take the address import. Okay, I have the address import. Let me take this address import. Now this is my project. Okay, and I think I told you about the create recurring data job. I don't remember. See here, this recurring data job is very interesting. Okay, because sometimes let's say customer is on premise environment. Okay, where is customer? Customer is on premise. That means I mean to say on premise in the sense not Dynamics 365. On premise, he has third party application. Okay, I am explaining you one scenario. I will come to the second scenario as well. Okay, the customer has third party application. Okay, and this third party application is on premise. So he wants to get the data to be pushed to the Dynamics 365. Okay, but my customer is not heavy here. He can't bear more amount. He can't bear more cost. So what we need to do? We need to do something where it should be cheaper. When it will be cheaper? If we go for the file storage, then it will be cheaper. Okay, so what we will do is, whenever customer is trying to perform his third party application operation, let's say it might be sales order creation or anything like that. Okay, so for that we will request the customer to create a JSON file and place that JSON file in his local folder. Okay, and then we have something called recurrence integration scheduler. Okay, recurrence integration scheduler. This is readily available. If you want to write your own application, you can write it, because very soon, I think mostly on Monday or Tuesday, I will show you how to work with the services. At that point, you will understand how to work with the recurrence integration scheduler. Okay, because you need to have knowledge on C#, because that will be developing in C#, not in AX. Okay, or any other programming language. It might be anything. Okay, now using this recurrence integration scheduler, we need to design this. And here, what we can do? What we can do? We need to connect to service of D365. Okay, and push file from on premise. Okay, so this is one scenario. Okay, because you have a data import here and you want to do the data import using the service. This is one scenario, because if you remember, I showed you Power BI. I got the data directly here. I did not create any service. This is called OData service. Okay, whatever the data entity that you create, that is OData entity. A OData service is created automatically for whatever the data entity that you create in Dynamics 365. And if you want to push the data, this is one way. And there is another way here. There is another way. This is the traditional way, because people used to ask me, oh, I want to go for cheaper. Then I used to suggest this. There is another way. What is that another way? You can use a logic app. You can use a APIM. Because the people will ask, I want to have security, because here you can see the security, it's not more secure. The people will ask, say, oh, I want more security. Then we will say, go with APIM, go with logic app, go with service bus. Push your message to the service bus in Azure, and from service bus, logic app will pick the message and then it will post it to Dynamics 365. This is how I used to say. Okay, this is if the customer is interested on more security. Okay, if he is planning for security, then we will go there. Okay, but unfortunately, I would not be able to explain all these things because they need Azure subscription, and I don't have the one. Okay, but I will show you how to consume the service. Okay, how to consume the service, how to create the service, all those things I will show you. Okay, but coming to the logic app, APIM, service bus, they need Azure subscription. Without Azure subscription, we can't discuss these topics. How to work with logic app and how to integrate with logic app and Dynamics 365, we can't do that. Okay, done. So this is about the recurrence integration. So when we will use recurrence integration, if there is a data import, to the Dynamics 365, at regular intervals, instead of importing manually, you can do that using a service. If you are doing that with a service, that is recurrence integration job. And in this recurrence integration, we will be creating one batch job. Okay, let me show you. Okay, here once you give some good name called address import, what it will do, it will create a batch job for us. Okay, you need to set up the authorization policy. Okay, but you need to provide the application ID from Azure. Okay, whatever you need to do is, let me show you that thing as well. You need to log on to portal.azure.com. Okay, this is free of cost. You can generate the application ID. This is free of cost. Okay, here you can go to Azure Active Directory, and here app registrations, you will see something called app registrations. Here we need to register one new application, and then you can say D365 integration, and then I'm saying accounts in any organized directory. Doesn't matter for me. Click on register. It will register a new application for us. Okay, and this is my application. Now you can see there is something called application ID here. Can you see this? You need to copy this and you need to paste it over here. Okay, now whenever a request is being sent, the request should come through this application ID, then only it is going to work. And if you want to use company message from message, then you need to set it yes, otherwise you can set it to no. Select OK button. Before that, process message is in order. Okay, and it is expecting the valid recurrence. Set processing recurrence, and you can say hours. Generally we will set it every 2 hours. Okay, if there are, let's say every minute, if you are getting the message, then you can set it to every minute. Okay, generally, but what we will do is we will set it to every 2 hours. Enable. Okay, it will create 2 batch jobs for us. One is for monitoring and the second one is for processing the messages. Okay, processing the messages. Let me show you those batch jobs as well. Let me go to modules, system administration, and you need to see the batch jobs. Okay, batch jobs. There will be a screen called batch jobs. Please see that. Yeah, here it is. And in this batch job screen, we are going to see the batch jobs. Okay, now it will create. What is the name that I have given here? I don't remember. What is the name? Do you remember? Recurrence? No.
D65 something?
Okay. No. 1 second. I should be able to see here. Address import. Okay, you can see this. AMA address import. So this batch job is responsible for processing the messages pushed through OData service. This batch job is responsible for monitoring this address import job. Okay, remember this is how two batch jobs will be created. Now you know the OData URL, and using the OData URL, if you send any message to this one, it will get processed. Okay, it will get processed. So this is one about the recurrence integration. And when we will use recurrence integration? Only when there is a possibility of getting the messages continuously. Okay, then we will go with recurrence integration. Recurrence integration. Okay, you can just simply create a XML file and you can push that XML file to the integration scheduler. Then automatically it will process that. Okay, this is going to process that automatically. Please remember this. Okay, and the next one is, and if you have any Azure hosted environment now, you can try that. Okay, and the next thing is I have created the application ID. Now if you want to that application ID to be used across the Dynamics AX, then in the system administration you have something called Azure setup or something like that. There should be one screen. Let me search. Yeah, Azure Active Directory applications. You need to go to the screen and click on the edit, paste the client ID, give the name, Active Directory app, and you can select the user ID. But please remember, this user ID you need to select the admin user ID. Okay, now you can see SKD365. This is my admin user. I am selecting this one. Whereas when you are working in a company Azure hosted environment, you will have the service account which is admin. You need to use that service account. Don't use your personal account for production environments. It will not work. Okay, you need to use service accounts. Please remember this. This is very, very important. Okay, and the next thing, once you're done, click on the save button. Done. Now you can use this ID wherever you need. Now similarly, if you want to use this application, then you need to generate a secret here. Okay, I will explain you this how to generate the secret and how to work with that on Monday, because today I don't want to discuss on the services topic. Okay, yeah. Now in this import, now let's say I want to add some default values or something like that. Okay, so let me check, because this is a enhanced view. Entity model, publish. Okay, where is the map? Close. View map. Mapping details. You can see these are the details. Now sometimes people used to say, I want zip code to be auto generated. Then what you need to do? Select auto generator to yes. If you select auto generator to yes, what it will do? It will generate the zip code automatically. It will generate the zip code automatically. Sometimes people used to say, okay, I don't want to use auto generate. Okay, I don't want to use auto generate. I want to have some default value. Then what you can do is, for example, let's say country, I want a default value, set auto default, and here you have a default value option, and then you can set it to IND, and then you can set it to IND. Means I am setting the value to India. Select the OK button. Then what it will do? Whenever you are trying to import the data, there is no need of supplying the country field. The country field will be taken automatically as India. The country field will be taken automatically as India. This is about auto generate and auto default. Okay, these are the two properties. Okay, which is why I never concentrated much on them. These are the two simple properties. If you use the auto generation, it will automatically generate the value for you. If you are using the auto default, it will generate a default value for you. And whereas sometimes people used to say about the number sequence. Okay, number sequence I haven't discussed it yet. I will discuss with the class extensions. But if you want to generate the number sequence, there is no need of using this auto generate. Instead of that, what you need to do? I will go there as well. Just a second. Let me open this and let me go to Solution Explorer. And here, if you go to the tables, Let's say I have the customers. Okay, for these customers, I have the customer staging. But please remember, yeah, if I do these changes now, this will not work for this entity because I made it composite. Okay, now here, right click on the new. You can see string, integer, real, date. These are called unmapped fields. So what is a mapped field and what is an unmapped field? Okay, now you will get it out again. So let me show you that on the entity first. If I open the entity, if I go to fields, new, you can see there are two things: mapped field, unmapped field. Mapped field means which is mapped to data source. Now you can see all these fields. Gender. If I go to the properties, it has mapped data source and it has mapped data field. Okay, it has mapped data source, it has mapped data field. If I go to building number, it has mapped data source and it has mapped data field. If the field is mapped, then it will be mapped field. If the field is mapped to data source and data field, then we will call it as mapped field. Whereas if you click on the new button and create a unmapped field, you can see that we are not going to set the property called data source and data field. You can see there is no data source and data field for unmapped field. Whereas for the mapped field, you will have the data source and data field for it. Okay, so this is the difference. Now when we will use unmapped field? When we will use unmapped field? It's very simple logic. Okay, it's very simple logic. Now see here, in some cases we will get the data. Okay, let's say we have the name. Okay, in dynamics AX we have the name. Whereas when we are trying to import from file, we have first name, last name as the fields. We have first name and last name. So in the staging, what we will do? We will have the first name and last name. When we are getting from the file, we will create two unmapped fields. We call it as first name and the second one as last name. And we are going to write a single method. We are going to write a method. Okay. To do that, we have two different methods. One is called map entity to data source. Map entity to data source. And the second one is called map data source to entity. Okay, map data source to entity. So in one of the method, we are going to write the piece of code and then we are going to concatenate the values. You can concatenate the values and then you can make it name equal to first name plus last name. And then we are going to store it in the table. Okay, name is a mapped field. From staging to target, we will map. But whereas when we are getting the data, we will not map it. Instead of that, we will map it to first name and last name. And if you want to get that first name and last name into the staging, this is how we do that. Okay, we can map and we can do that. And similarly, this is one of the requirement. Second requirement is when the customer is migrating the data, he want to perform some calculation and then store the value. And this calculation is again dependent on one more field the customer is providing. So now you are getting two fields, but in dynamics AX you need to store one field. You need to perform some calculation and then you need to do that. Then also we will go with unmapped field. So these are the few things where we will go with unmapped field. And I want you people to try this. Okay, because there is a good example in MSDN for the same thing. Let me show you. Okay, there is an example for the same thing in dynamics AX. Let me show you. If you simply type virtual fields data entities, you will get it. I want you to try that and let me know whether it is working for you or not. If it is not working for you, I will explain that. Okay, I will explain that. You can see he has already given the code as well. This is for computed colon and this dot full name equal to this dot first name and last name. He has done in the post load method. You can see this. Okay, it's the same thing we can do when mapping as well. Okay, here you can see again he has done this in the map entity data source. Here there is a direct code. Okay, if there is no code, I would have showed you how to work with this. I want you to try this. Okay, and you can also test this by you creating a main method, because most of the times we have done import and export using the framework. Instead of framework, you can use this. I showed you the framework because going further you are not going to use this anyways. You will be always working with this one only. Okay, please try this here. I want you to try this link and let me know. If you are not able to do that, I will show you. I am giving this link for practice. Okay, this is for practice. Please practice and let me know if you are not able to do that. Okay, if you are not able to do that, I will do this on live on the session and then I will show you how to work with this. Okay, I want you to try this piece because this is very interesting. You can learn how to work with the computed fields with this. Okay, please do that. Okay, yeah, this is about the all thing about the data entities. Okay, and even the integration as well I showed you. I will show you how to work with the integration of services, and I will show you how to consume the data. I want you to try that using data entities in Azure hosted environment. Okay, in Azure hosted environment. I will explain you that about that on Monday. I want to build one sample, so I'm taking some time. Okay, next. So this is all about the data entities. Okay, no, there is one more thing. Did I explain you about data packages? Did I explain you about data packages or not?
No, Kumar.
Okay, then let's see that. Now let me go to this address import. I think this is going to fail, but let me check. I don't remember whether I have generated the data package or not. Let me see. Job history. Because in the source data format, if you do remember, you can see something called AX. That AX is AX data package. Okay, that AX resembles AX data package. Let's say you want to transfer the data between AX 2012 and Dynamics 365, or let's say you have to transfer the data from Dynamics 365 one environment to another environment. Then what we can do is we can use this data package. Okay, we can use this data package. One second. System administration, data management, and then let me go to this single import. Actually, this is an export, but I made it import. Okay, and then let me click on export button once again. Okay, while generating itself, we'll have the option. I don't think package is not available. Okay, I'll take the target data format as CSV, AMA, address entity. I will take this and skip staging. Let it be there. Nothing is going to happen with it. Click on generate data package. Set this to yes. Click on add entity. Okay, yes. Let it generate the mapping. Click on the export button now. So now, if you select generate data package, you will generate this data package only when you want to transfer the data between Dynamics AX environments. If you want to transfer the data between Dynamics AX environments, then only we will use generate data package. Now, this data package, oh, very bad. I think there is some issue with this. Mhm. Just a second. Seems like some issue with the service. Let me try some another entity. Was it? But this needs sample file. No.
Or Kumar,
Okay.
can we go with a standard one? Just
Not
to give example and explain.
not needed. 1 second. Let's try with this one. This should work because it should not throw any error. Okay. If it is throwing the error, we need to fix that. Let me check. Oh, your execution log. Good. Okay. There should be a button called generate data package. I saw it somewhere. Just give me a second. Generate mapping. Yeah, here it is. Okay. While creating itself, you need to enable this. Otherwise, by default, it is disabled. Now you can't enable once again. Okay. Let me go to this test now. Okay. This is allowed only one time. Or let me click it. Oh, it's enabling. Yeah. Let me try for this one. If I edit, it is enabling. Edit. Enable. Save. Because I can see I got error with proxy. So I would like to check, because if we will get error with proxy only when we have some issue with service, which is why I want to check whether I am getting the same error here as well or not. Oh, come on. Let's wait for a minute here. It's taking a lot of time. Don't know what is the exact reason. Let's do one thing. In the meantime, we will continue to the next topic. And once it is refreshed, I will show you what is data package and how it will look like. Okay. See here. The next part. This is how we are going to work with the data upgrade. If it is between AX to AX, we will use data package. If it is between some other application to AX, you can use Excel, you can use XML, you can use JSON, you can use CSV, you can use whatever you want. Okay. You can define the file format. Now, the next thing is about code migration. So how to perform code migration? To perform code migration, there are few steps. Okay. From that, step one is to download or create the model store file and create a zip file out of it in AX 2012. Okay. Whatever you need to do is you need to create a model store zip file. Okay. Actually, I don't have the one here. So let me copy and paste it. Good. I have it ready. Okay. Whatever you need to do is you need to create a model store file in AX 2012 and then you need to get that model store file here. Okay. You need to create a zip file out of that model store and then you need to copy it. You need to use this. Okay. This is the first step. Now what is the second step? The second step is to log on to lcs.dynamics.com. Okay, using your own Microsoft account or using your domain account, whatever it is, the company account, log on to lcs.dynamics.com. And in lcs.dynamics.com, you can see, oh, already we have created one project, June 2020. That's good. Okay, did I map VSO here in the project settings? Let me check. Okay, you can see Visual Studio Team Services. It's not mapped. So whatever we need to do is we need. Oh, it's mapped. Yeah, I showed you this thing. skd365.visualstudio.com. It's already mapped. Good. I think I told you about this mapping as well long back then. Okay. So once you're done with this Visual Studio mapping, if you click on these three lines, you can see code upgrade. Select the code upgrade. And then here currently it says no records. Click on the add button and here give some good name. I will say D365 June 2020 upgrade. Okay. And here select the platform AX 2012, or if you have any Dynamics 365, you can select that. And here you need to select the latest version of Dynamics 365. If you select estimation only, it will simply generate a report showing how much time it is going to take for code upgrade. If you do not select this, it will perform a code upgrade and it will give the lot of information data for you. So once you are done with this selection, click on the create button. It will create a new project for us and it is already mapped to skd365.visualstudio.com. So once you're done this, click on the add files and here model store zip file, click on the browse button and then upload the model store zip file. Okay, in AX 2012, the model store file will contain the whole code. So once you're done, click on the upload button. It will upload the model store file here. It will take some time and then it will upload. Okay, and now, so this is the second step. Let it upload. It will take a minute of time. After that, we need to click on analyze code. Okay, let it take some time. Next, now let's get back to the temp. If I expand the model store, you can see the extension is with .ax model store. The extension is with .ax model store. Please remember this. You need to generate a model store file. To do this, you have a command called axutil, or you can use the PowerShell script to generate a AX model store from AX 2012. Okay, and then upload it. Now, once this is uploaded, okay, the next step would be to select the analyze code, and it is going to analyze the code automatically from itself. Now let me get back to this one and let me refresh and see. Okay, it is still taking a lot of time. Don't know what is the exact reason. Okay, now this is about up to this step, and it needs to finish. It's at 50%, 40% now. Let's see. It is going to take a minute or two, and then it will get finished. After that, we need to select the analyze code. And in the meantime, what I can do? It should finish, then only I will get the information. Unless and until it finishes, na, we will not get anything here. And don't know why it is not throwing any error as well. Okay. Okay, let's wait for a few minutes and see. Actually, the data package, I want to show you the manifest file. So what it will do is, it will create a manifest file for us. In that manifest file, it will contain the details. Okay, done. My file got uploaded. Click on axmodostore.zip and click on analyze code. And then the analysis will take some period here. It might take half an hour, it might take 1 hour, it might take 2 hours. It depends on availability of the machines. Okay, because we are working on a free subscription, so it will take some time for machine allocation. Whereas if you work on the customer environment, it will allocate machine immediately. Please remember that. Okay, done. So it needs to process, generate the report, and then it should come to completed. So all this step it will do automatically by itself. Okay, so once the everything is generated, we will come back to this code migration. Okay, done. Now the next step. So it's still, I don't know why it is taking a lot of time. Let it run. It should go to error at least. It's not going to error as well. Means it is running. Okay, let it run. I will show you what is data package. Don't worry. Once it has finished running. Now the next step. See here. There are some tools when you are working with Dynamics 365. Okay, which will be useful for customers, which will be useful for developers. And let's see what are those tools. If I log on to this USN, C and everything, you can see those tools. Okay, you can see question mark here, and you can see there is a tool called trace. So what is the purpose of this trace? Okay, this trace tool is called trace parser. By default, trace parser is installed in your development environment, and you can use this. So the purpose of the trace parser is to generate the traces, to show what are the queries that are executed, to show how much time it took for execution. Okay, it is used for performance analysis. It is used for performance analysis. The purpose of the trace parser is to do performance analysis of Dynamics 365 execution. Okay, now we will do one thing here. We will open one module and we will see how it is working. Okay, let's do that. Let me select the server name. Oh, unfortunately it is not giving. Let me open this one. Now it is processing. This is my server name. Copy the server name and go to trace parser and paste it over here. Okay, by default DB is not there, so you can create a new DB called trace DB and then select register. It will create a new database for us. Let's say yes, it will create a new database for us, and that's it. We are done. Now here you can see there are few options. One is import trace, second one is capture events. See here, coming to the VM, if you use trace option from here, then it is not capturing the SQL queries and everything. Okay, It is capturing only few events. So whereas coming to the Azure VMs, it is working fine. In the Azure VM, it is capturing everything. Whereas coming to this VM, which is free of cost, it is not capturing all the events. Okay. So let me start capturing events from here. If I select the capture events, if I select the capture events, it will show you the list of events that can be captured. Execution traces, form server, execution traces, AIF change tracking, deployment. You can see there are a lot of things here. Yeah. Okay. There are a lot of things here. Can you see this? If you want to capture the database, there should be database something. 1 second. Let me check. Database synchronization. Where is this? Select this. Come down. Similarly, if you want to capture something from integration services, you can select that. O data service. Like this, you have a lot of things. Whereas if you want to select everything, you can select all of them. You can select all providers. Okay. I'm selecting all the providers as I'm just showing you the demo. And remember, before clicking the start button, let's say you want to get the trace when you're confirming the sales order. What do you know people used to do? They will start collecting the trace when they are clicking on this accounts receivable and then sales order. But you should not do this. You should collect the trace at the exact point where you have the issue. So go to all sales orders. Oh, seems like there is some issue with the URL itself. It should not take this much amount of time. Okay. And now I can see this open order. Let me select this and I can go to pick and pack. Oh, 1 second. Let me check where it is. Confirmation. Here itself it's there. Select confirmation. It will open one more dialog for you. Okay. Here if you select the OK button, it will show one more dialog. Select OK button. Okay. You're about to post the document without printing it. Select OK to continue. So at this instance, select start. Okay. Let it load. Now come here, select OK button. Now it is processing the operation. Once the processing is finished, immediately select stop. This is very, very important because you know a lot of times what people used to do is they will collect the big traces here. They will collect the traces for 10 or 15 minutes. It will go to 2 GB or 3 GB. You know, analyzing that is very difficult. So whenever you are trying to perform the operation and you need to collect the trace, only at particular instant of time. Okay, don't try to catch the trace which is very big in size. Try to reduce the size of the trace as much as possible. The more amount of trace you collected, the more number of classes, the more number of forms, the more number of services, everything will be multiplied. Everything will be multiplied by the same number. So whenever you are trying to collect the trace, you need to collect at exact instance of time. Okay, click on stop and import. Now it will import the trace for us. And it will take a minute or two depending upon the size of the trace. By default, when you are working in this fashion, if you are capturing the events, then the trace will be copied in your temp folder. Okay, the trace will be present in temp folder somewhere around local temp or Okay, it will capture somewhere in the temp. We can't say where exactly it will capture, but I think you can open it from here. Let's see. Come on. Oh, very bad. Actually, this issue I did not get in the previous version. Okay, this is the path. App data roaming Microsoft Dynamics 6 trace. Let me try to import this back again. Oh, it seems like it got deleted or what? But it should not do that. You can see the size of the trace is 300 MB for 1 minute. And you know why it is 300 MB? Because we have selected all the providers. Whereas if you select only few of the providers, then the trace size will be less. This issue is not from my end here. This issue is from the trace parser itself. Let me collect a new trace. Okay. And this time let me select only few of them. I think it is causing issue with the providers. So let me do one thing. I will select only few providers now. Database synchronization. And let me select start button. Okay, I got the issue with this because I need to do a build of this model. I got the issue now. Okay, let me take some other model. It is expecting me to do a full build of my model. Okay, which is why it is throwing those errors. Okay, done. Stop and import. Okay, got it. Just a second. This is what it is expecting. I thought the issue is with the services, but not. Because even if I am trying to open the services from my forms from the front end, they are not getting opened. Which means while we are working with this model, we have screwed something. Okay, might be when doing a build or whatever it is, but it got screwed. If I do a build of this model, then again it will start working fine. In dev machines, this is very common scenario. but only one thing is that you need to identify that. It is showing 3 hours here for processing this, but we don't know how much time it will take. Currently, there are no errors, no warnings, no informative messages. After 160 minutes, it will generate the code and it will show us. No, I don't want to take this much time. Let me do one thing. Remove this build, recompiled form, build reports. No cross difference data needed. Build. Okay, this is the issue. So once the build operation is finished, again, it will start running. Because you might ask me why you got to know this. If I'm trying to open any one of the screen of mine, the shopping management system, it is not opening, which clearly indicates that there is some problem with the build. Otherwise, it should open everything. And sometimes what we need to do is, we need to do a full build. If it is not working even then we need to do a full build. Okay. Are there any errors? No. Good. It says 3% completed. First of all, I want to go to data management and check my data package. Good. Now it is showing the table here. Previously, it was not working. They would have given the stop button for this. What do you think? Because currently if I need to stop this, I don't see any button. Okay, let me do one thing. Generate data package is yes. Let me try to export it once again. Now you can see exported is 15. Now it has done. It has done its job now. Okay. Okay, good. It says it has failed. But let me check whether I have the download package. No, it's very bad. It says, okay, actively unable to connect to remote server. Okay. Now what you need to do? Can anyone tell me? I told you about Azure Storage Emulator. Let me check whether it is running or not. Azure Storage Emulator is not running here. This is one more problem. What we need to do? We need to start it. How to start it? If you go to C drive and then program files, you should see something called Microsoft SDKs, Azure Emulator. This is CS Monitor, Dev Fabric, okay. .NET SDK, no, not this one. Let me check in program files, x86. There should be something called Azure Storage Emulator. Yeah, this one. Okay, copy this, open CMD. Yes, and then use a command called Azure Storage Emulator start. If it starts, it is fine. If it says there is some port issue, then frankly speaking, that issue I got back to back in 8.1. Okay. Now it says storage emulator is successfully started. Now you can get back to this one and let me try export back again. Now this is running good. Done. Okay. So all these things will happen for you as well. It's not only for me, but only one thing you need to remember is, what do you need to remember? What do you need to remember? You need to try this. Okay. Whatever you need to do is you need to resolve the issues and then move forward. Now, if you click on the download package, it should download a package for us. You can say this. Okay. This is called AX package. Now let's see what does this AX package contain, and then we'll close the session. Okay. Right click on the extract. Now you can see the extracting is successful. Okay. It contains the manifest file. This is what I was saying. The manifest file will contain the information of the entities. What are the entities you want to import and everything. And you can see input file is this XML. This is the file path, level in execution unit, query data. Okay, query data is converted into binary and it will be stored in this form. Okay, the query data is converted to binary. And then there is one more file called package header. This package header contains the information of the data management manifest file. Okay, data management manifest file and the definition group. That's it. It will create these three files. And whereas when you want to import the data package, you are not going to extract it. you will directly select this zip file, and then the data will get imported. The data will get imported. Got it? This is about the data entities. And then the coming to the trace parser, I will show you once again here, because I think there is some issue with the trace parser in this version. I want to check. If there is issue, I can't help. If there is no issue, then I will explain you. Okay. Now code upgrade, it's at 6%. So once it is finished at 100%, we will see this on Monday. I will show you how to work with the code upgrade. Now you know about the data upgrade. We are left with code upgrade. We will see the code upgrade as well. Now it's your time. Please let me know if you have any queries. If there are no queries, I will end session for everyone. Thanks all for the session. Let's meet again on Monday, same time. Thank you all. Bye.